Hello everyone and welcome to the third video in this Google Cloud series. Now in this video what I'm going to cover is the structure of the Google Cloud platform. Now I'm going to keep this very high level just so you understand how projects and stuff work, because we haven't really talked about it. And if I'm going to talk about how projects work, I might as well cover the rest of the structure, but again it's going to be pretty short and sweet. So the Google Cloud platform is broken down into 4 layers. So you typically have an organization, and then under that you can have folders, but the folder level doesn't actually have to be under the organization. You can actually have the project straight under there, so you don't have to have folders if you don't want them. They are optional, but it just allows you to have more control over your environment and permissions and such. And then again, like I was just mentioning, you have projects, and then projects have the resources. So just quickly, I'm going to cover that again. Organizations. Under an organization you can have folders, but you don't have to, but you will have projects under an organization. If you're going to build anything in GCP, you have to have a project, and then within projects you have your resources. So what this means is that the great thing about this is just allows you to have good control over your environment and restricting and giving access. So say I could give access at the organization level here, and say he would be an owner, he would have permission of everything, the folders, the projects, the resources. And then you can separate them as well. So you could have, say, team A only had access to this folder, team B only had access to this folder, and then product 1 people, they had access to everything under here. So that's the level of control you can have, which is great. So the product 1 users would have access to the dev GCP, the test GCP, and the production GCP. But again, you can get even more restrictive. So say if we had the owner of product 1, so he owns everything, but then the owner who's managing this is his project, right? He can say, all right, I have 3 teams, but they're only going to have access to the dev team will only have access to dev, test will only have access to test, production will only have access to production. And again, dev can only access what's within this project. At the moment, nothing. Production can only access what's in their environment. Again, nothing. And then the test GCP project can only access resources in their environment, in their project, which is a compute engine, app engine, and cloud storage buckets. So no one else can access those resources unless they have access to the test GCP project, they have access to the product 1 folder, or the team B folder, the department Y folder, or the company. I hope that makes sense. So here, so company, department Y, to team B, product 1, or test GCP project. So it's a hierarchy thing. That's how that works. So that's pretty much it at a high level on how that works. So I'll just show you what this looks like in 2 accounts in Google Cloud. My one that actually has an organization, and what your free tier one will look like. So just bear with me and I'll open that right up. So this is my TechDocs account, and as you can see I have an organization. So the organization here, as you can see what I was mentioning before, I have a project, but the project isn't under a folder. It's actually underneath the organization here. And then I have a folder here called personal with nothing in it. And I'll show you what it actually looks like if you were to have a project within a folder. So let me just quickly create one, just so I can explain, so you kind of get an idea of what it actually looks like. So let me just quickly create one. So I'm going to call this video test, and so the organization is TechDocs, as you can see. But the location here, you'll see that I can have this in 2 different locations. I can either have it under the organization, because remember, a project can live under an organization, but it can live in a folder as well. So I'm going to have it in the folder, and I'm going to hit create. Okay, great. So it says here that the project has been created. So let's just give it a bit of a reload up the top here. And now you can see that we've got a expand node option here. So I click that. Now you can see that that's where that project lives. So now I can control access to video test at this level, or at this level. So that's how that works. Now let me show you what your free tier account looks like, because that's what you'll probably be looking at right now. So this is the free tier structure and what it looks like. So at the moment you don't actually have an organization, so you can't control organizations or folders. So you only have to worry about projects, and that's the level of control you have. But for a free trial sort of thing, that's fine. That's all you'll typically need, and that's all we're going to need coming into this series. So I just pretty much wanted to cover the structure so you're aware of what else is there, because sometimes if you're kind of looking around, you'll see, oh, create folder or create project, and then if you get curious and you're like, I want to create a folder, you'll click it, you call it maybe test, and you go browse, and you can't create it, right? Because you don't have an organization, and a folder has to live under an organization. So that's typically how the hierarchy structure of Google Cloud works, and where you can assign permissions. So I hope that cleared a few things up, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video where we will actually be deploying resources. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.